Smith & Wesson Victory threaded with the Silencer Co. Spectre 2. Never been fired except for perhaps at the factory. Very clean. First shots. This has a trigger disconnect or a magazine disconnect and a safety on it, which when I was playing with it one time I did manage to accidentally put it into the safe, not intentionally, but I did. The sights on this thing, I don't know if they show up in the camera, but they really, oops, forgot to get it on the camera. The sights on this thing really show up. They really illuminate. This is overcast and a little bit rainy. Rounds no issue. You can hear people shooting here. State forest. And very active. This has a rail that comes with it. Let's see, it's polymer, but you can put optics on it if you choose. Trigger's pretty nice on this one. I have one of the new Ruger, I don't know what they're called, not a 20, Mark III I think, 22, and I got it with all rails. Kind of regret that. I wish I would have got some sights on it instead of optics only. The trigger is horrific on that gun. I mean, those things used to be thought of as target pistols, right? Well, you got to put about $70 worth of parts in it just to get basic operation. Pretty sweet gun. I can see why people like them. I like this better than the Mark III already. I have a couple of Mark IIs, I think. I don't ever shoot them because they're not threaded. I really like the quiet noise of the suppressor. Doing less damage to my hearing. I've had these rounds for a long while. It seems like there's been some price breaks recently, and 22 LR seems to be becoming more available, especially online. And I'll be curious to see with how the election goes. You know, if Trump gets in, you know, ammo and guns will be available again, and there won't be huge rushes on it because it'll be relatively stable. But Hillary might say it's against the law to sell more than 10 22 LR at a time. So if it looks like she's a shoo-in in a couple of months for being the president, you'll have a tough choice. Maybe might be that people are trying to dump all the 22 LR that they purchased for investment purposes, and all the 22 they have. On the other hand, if you don't get it before Hillary, at least if Hillary gets in and tries to ban it all, you can bury it, you know, which is exactly what I would probably do, because that wouldn't be right. Pretty funky Democratic and Republican parties this time around. I think the Democrats are just about as fed up with their system as the Republicans are with theirs. Then there's all those independents like me that never cared much for either, just wanted status quo. And so I got like this guy, got my water along, shovel along. That makes the people in the forest happy if something goes wrong. Dropped one of those on the kitchen floor last week on the way out to here. That sucked. Exploded. So anyhow, there are decent prices of late for 22 LR. So I mean, decent being 5.5 to 6.5 cents per, but you know, I mean, you may be wanting to get 4 cents or 4.5, and you may be able to do that if you live right next door to a Walmart and you can be in there every day when they get their allotment in or what have you. But for those of us who have full-time jobs and all of that, get it while you can. And plus with Hillary, she's a real consideration. I mean, she may feel emboldened to, you know, try to do something about the Second Amendment with, of course, not altering it, but just through other regulations. So anyhow, I'm going to keep shooting this thing. So far it works fine from all the reviews I've seen. It's super simple to take apart, as reliable as any 22. As always, the Spectre 2 is a joy to use. If you're thinking about just getting one suppressor, consider a 22 LR one. Just make sure it doesn't have a first round pop, which this one does not. and it fits on anything that has a threaded barrel that's for 22 caliber. I'm going to be picking up one of those PS90s soon, I think, too, and this suppressor will work with that too. Just can't find one right now. Wait too long. If it looks like Hillary is going to be the person, if Trump doesn't keep his act together, seem like he can be sane. If it looks like Hillary's going to be in, you're going to see rifles like this probably double in price in the next month and a half too. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of a real effect it has. And plus, you know, the thing is Obama was the president of change, right? That's why we voted him in, was the president of change. I even voted for him the second time around, not the first time, but the second time around. If Obama was the president of a change, he sure didn't affect much change, and it might be the case with Hillary. She can't affect much change either. It's probably the case with Trump too. He probably can't screw stuff up too much, but he's probably not going to put judges in that that are just disgusted by the concept of the Second Amendment, which is exactly what Hillary would do. And then we got to wait for those judges to pass away. Well, there may not be effectively street courts on the East Coast and in California have pretty much said you don't have a right to have a gun, period. We don't care what the Second Amendment says, so what have you. But anyway, a little bit of a rant there, I guess. Smith & Wesson 22 Victory. I think the price on this was, it was under $250. Probably about $265, $270 by the time I paid the transfer fee at the pawn shop. Oregon's changed the way they do their transfers now. The instant, the so-called instant check that could take you an hour or so, especially whenever Obama opened his mouth. Now they're saying that if you're a concealed carry person, when they enter that into the system, you go to the top of the line. So it filled out the 4473 on this, and I waited for 3 minutes, 4 minutes. And then a couple days before that, I got this thing, and I think I didn't realize it at the time, but I only had to wait like 1 minute. So I didn't know that Oregon had changed the thing. It's about time. I mean, we conceded in having an instant background check so that, we conceded that they would do the instant background check, and one, it would be instant. That way there would be no 5-day waiting period. And two, they wouldn't maintain a database. Well, Oregon's bending over backwards to maintain a database of who buys what. And it's just crazy. I mean, you either got a gun or you don't. I mean, I can't shoot both of these guns well at the same time, and nor can you. Even Hickok can't fire two guns at the same time really well. He'd be at a serious disadvantage if he tried against anyone. And that's just how guns work. It doesn't matter if I have 1 or 40 of them. It's the one that's in my hand at the time that would be the issue, or what saves the moment. Bye now.